team. He said, I do not think they're as good defensively as they were a year ago. I think they're better offensively. And we've talked about them. That's an inauspicious beginning because
first down, but
open, also well an open field.
So big first down. The official comes in, stops play until they can get things squared around.
That should have stopped when they moved the chain, so now they reset it.
Yeah, so it was at 13-13 at the start of that play, so we knew more than 4 seconds had gone off to take Waller to catch the pass and turn around, so they've got to take a few more ticks off of it.
Jones takes the snap, hands off. Dragons stick with a run, and a nice run indeed for Deshaun Waller as he pounds upfield for a great gain on first down. Close to a first down. Give him a pickup of about 8. Second down, long 2 at the 37-yard line of the Dragons. Impressive here in the early moments of the football game. A couple of wideouts to the far side of the field. Ball on the mark, high snap. Handoff is to Emmons, corner down the sideline, and he has run out of bounds, but not before taking it inside the 5.
Nobody was home. They all bit on the cutback, and when Emmons turned it back to the right side on the cutback run, not a single Garden City player was ready for it. They were all locked behind the blockers on the backside.
Yeah, Begin fans maybe saw a little bit of a spurt right there. We haven't seen that speed on the outside. He showed it there, guys.
The Blue Dragons so far in this football game are really working the edges on offense. Jones goes under center this time. Hands off. Dragons plow straight ahead.
Banged up with a foot injury. We saw that kind of happen, but he's bounced back nicely. He's in good shape and probably healthy for one of the first times.
And no signal.
Yeah, say a half a yard short, but they had evidently said not.
That's the same.
Into the pile goes B.J. Emmons again, and this time he is rewarded with a touchdown.
I like to call that the pin. He just takes the snap in the backfield.
Left side of that offensive line. To the right side. Wilson wants the 6 yards to go and third down.
Only his second reception of this, runs that out route out of the backfield. There's nowhere to go. Covered nicely by the Blue Dragon defense.
Half to less than that.
Be interesting to see if the stop here, if he tries a field goal.
Dragons got a quick timeout. Coach Rhodes saw something he didn't.
Back in half a minute.
We all like to save money when and where we can. You can do that every day at Saltzman and say hi to our friendly staff. Ending values. We don't have to offer.
In goal from the same spot. Hutchinson mainly on the ground. All right, out of the timeout. Garden City from perhaps tying the game. Wilson takes the snap, drops back, pressure comes, floats it left, and it is a touchdown. No, he dropped it on the way down. Dropped it on the way down. 2 Dragon defenders in the area, and Garden City's Yatil Gant just not able to hang on.
Michael Witherspoon got in there at the last moment. He actually came up with the football, thought maybe he had picked it off, but knocked it away.
Garden City ready to go, going quickly on fourth down. Wilson drops back, pumps, delivers it too tall. It bounces off the goal post and comes back down into the hands of a Garden City receiver, and that was big Nigel Kilby that got it off the ricochet of the crossbar.
Yeah, that's got to be out of bounds, right? You saw what I saw. It bounced off of the goal post. That ball's no longer in play.
Isn't that out of bounds, guys?
Should be out of bounds.
I definitely saw
it that way.
I definitely saw it ricochet off the goal post.
But was it deflected? It was deflected off a Garden City player up to the goal post. Maybe that's what they're ruling.
Well, we've got no flag drops, so as of now, the touchdown stands. Garden City will try to add the extra point. Kick is up. The kick is up. And we are tied at 7. All right, 7-7. More football from Kansas in half a minute.
Customized plans designed around your dreams, ideas, and budget. For quality and follow-through on any home project, call Erickson Custom Building at 620-585-2816 or visit ericksoncustomBLDG.com.
It was about 4 years ago when the Blue Dragons came out west and won a game over Garden City 63-49. I'm not team impressive on its opening drive.
Sims went for it on fourth down just like we thought he might. They're so good. Best team in the nation on fourth down conversions. They now have 10 on the year.
Hits a Dragon, picked and brought out, and maybe to the 31, 32-yard line.
Dangerous situation. Bounced off of Misters, but he was able to corral it in time.
7-7, 7:30 in period number one. Rusty Double D, Darren Dunn with you from Broncbuster Stadium. Blue Dragons trying to move to 3-1, trying to get a big win over a very good football team. Jones is under center this time. Hands off. The Dragons try their luck on the left side, and there's not much there for Deshaun Waller. Might have gotten a yard. Put it down at the 32. It'll be a 2nd and 9.
Robertson is just so disruptive on that line at 6'5", 280. One of the leading tacklers on this team.
Yeah, the Dragons, a team that likes to run the football, looking at a 2nd down and a bunch of yards situation. Jones wants to throw, throws, he's got a receiver, and it is caught at the 40 and taken down to the 35-yard line by Jawan Johnson. We're talking about the Garden City 30-yard line, and Cam Jones just completed his 25th pass of the football season.
Defender
between 7 and 8 Blue Dragons. They put it down, say his knee touched actually at the 27-yard line. Under center, hands off, and the Dragons give ground, and running back Deshaun Waller hesitated instead of hitting straight ahead. Might have lost a yard or two on that play, and now the Dragons look at a tough situation. 3rd down and 5.
We've seen Brett Bell a lot in motion across the formation. That time he just doesn't hold his block long enough, allows the defender to get free and put a nice pop on Waller.
We've talked about the tight end of Garden City and Nigel Kilby. Blue Dragon coach Ryan Rhodes thinks he has quite a stable of tight ends. Now Jones goes back in the shotgun. On 3rd and 5, wants to throw, sets up, floats it downfield, and it is intercepted. Or is it dropped?
Incomplete pass.
That was incomplete. Boy, Blue Dragons had a wide open receiver.
It was either a really poor pass or it was hit at the line of scrimmage because it was wobbling.
It was deflected at the line of scrimmage, and Derek Rucker had an opportunity to come down with it. I thought he had it too. Fortunately, he doesn't, because as you mentioned, Jalen Irwin was wide open on that play.
Still in the first quarter, 5:12 to go, 7-7. Dragons are at the 29 of Garden City, but need 6 yards to keep the drive. And Cam Jones back in the shotgun.
Affected the flight of the ball.
So Garden City gets the first defensive.
Dangerous weapon.
Wilson wants to throw, throws it over.
On the year, not a receiver that Wilson normally goes to, but gave him an opportunity there in traffic. So personnel, and when you sub offensively.
Jackson on the run.
So it is a first down just across midfield. Garden City on offsides. Dragons go back to a new Otis Williams. Garden City has stiffened considerably.
Gap filled by Matt Terrell, leading tackler on this team. Lead the team in
down 10 for the Dragons. I think Hutchins is going to have to complete some passes.
Waller back in there, running back, guys.
Thank you, Glenn. Pass play over the middle is almost intercepted. They tried to hit Jawan Johnson, who was coming across the field from left to right. Threw it into a lot of traffic, incomplete.
Well, and the reason there was a shot at an interception, Johnson, instead of going up for the ball, got alligator arms and even ducked down underneath it. Gave the defender a good chance at picking it off.
So it is 3rd down for Hutchinson and 10 yards to go. Ball at the 49 of Garden City. Dragons went for it on 4th down last time. 4th down and a couple of yards. That's 3rd down 10. Here comes a lot of pressure picked up by the Dragons, and a nice grab on the sideline by Blue Dragon tight end Trey Richards. Excuse me,
Lumpkin
Blue
with a
Dragon
great
right
catch.
end Johnny Lumpkin pulled that one in.
Lumpkin, a good job
Lumpkin
of
caught that. He had not turned when the ball was in the air. Great timing route. Lumpkin grabbed it, snatched it, first down Dragons.
He concentrated as well because Warren Saba had wrapped him up around the waist right as the ball got there.
And that's the end of the first quarter. We're all square, 7-7. Second quarter coming up in a minute.
The Hutch Medicine Shop and the Hutch Blue Dragons have a lot in common. In addition to our logos both being blue, all three pharmacists at the Medicine Shop graduated from HCC. Rick Stone in 1984, Brent Bauman in 2001, and Lacey Stone in 2007. In fact, the Medicine Shop has employed over a dozen HCC students over the past 15 years who are now Kansas pharmacists. The Medicine Shop and the Blue Dragons working together as one team.
Well, a great grab by Johnny Lumpkin on third down and 10. Gave the Dragons a first down on the last play of the first quarter. Hutchinson has the ball at the 33 of Garden City. Dragons have been in Garden City territory 3 times, have scored on one of the preceding 2. This is the third trip. Game tied at 7. So the Blue Dragons go back to work. Wilson stays in the gun this time, brings a man across the formation. Play action, loads it up, throws it downfield. Receiver is behind the defender, but Jawan Johnson can't catch up with a ball that is thrown too hard.
That's the same type of play that they completed earlier. Could have been for a touchdown, but was slightly underthrown to make sure it wasn't an overthrow. And that time, trying to get him into the end zone, just overthrew him by about 5 yards.
So it'll be a second down and 10, still at the 33 of the Broncbusters.
Second down and 10 for the Blue Dragons.
Cam Jones awaits the snap. Hands it off, and Emmons tries to get to the right side in Garden City with tremendous defensive penetration. Runs Emmons out of bounds 3 yards or so behind the line of scrimmage. So the Dragons are third down and very long again. Third down, 14 this time. That running game that generated a batch of yards in the first drive of the contest has stuttered considerably here of late.
Well, the Broncbusters are loading up the box, and they're almost telling the Blue Dragons, if you're going to beat us, you need to throw. And I think the Blue Dragons need to test those waters maybe a little bit more.
Garden City's allowed to bring the house right here. Threatening blitz. Cam Jones unloads it, and it is incomplete on the sideline. Boy, he got a lot of pressure. Dragon passing game has produced some key plays, but on this particular situation, Hutchinson left with a 4th down and 14 at the 37-yard line, likely will punt.
I think Cam Jones is a guy that you like to bring the pressure on defensively because he's not shown his run game at all this season. So a lot of times he's more apt to take the sack than he is to try to get out of the pocket and run.
Donovan Gagan will punt it. Garden City doesn't have anybody back. Snap is a good one. Gagan's punt, a little pooch kit, kind of floated over to the right side of the field, will bounce out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. So pretty effectively, they're going to put it down somewhere near the 10. Looks like about the 11 where it'll be spotted. That was effective. And so there's a penalty that I didn't see the flag.
They had an illegal formation on the Blue Dragons, so somebody didn't get up on the line. You have to have 7. Someone probably just didn't have their head through the snapper's waist. So not as bad field position for the Broncbusters as we originally thought it would be, down around the 10. It'll move them out 5 more yards from there. Or they may accept this penalty and make him kick it again.
I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're going to have a repeat 4th down here, guys.
Well, I think that's good for Gagan because he has the right idea on he's dropping his punt nose down so that he can get it to kind of bounce back. He just needs to kick it deeper. Kicked it a little bit light that time. I think he knows now he can put a little more force behind it. Look to see if he tries to coffin corner this one to that right sideline again.
It is Trey Richards back deep for Garden City. Familiar name to Hutchinson folks. Played at Hutchinson High School. Gagan will punt it again. Snap is perfect. Gagan's punt a little stronger this time. This one looks headed for the end zone, and the Dragons can't get there in time, and it'll be a touchback. And so the decision by Garden City to make Hutchinson punt it again pays off. They bring it out to the 20 on the punt touchback. 14 minutes to go in the first half, 7-7. Each team scoring on its first drive of the game, and now it's setting in to be a bit of a defensive struggle. Garden City starts right at the 20. Nigel Kilby, that tight end, sets up on the right side. Terry Wilson takes a snap, throws it over the middle, completes it to his tight end. That's a gain of about 7. What a target.
Yeah, and all he did was run down the field about 7 yards, sat down, turned around, caught it.
It's like a play that you could run over and over and over again. Net of 6 yards, we'll call it on the play. 2nd down and 4. Ball at the 26. Green Dragons read it beautifully. Play was set up to Alaric Williams, but the Dragons not fooled in the slightest, and a terrific defensive play made by Quinn Head.
Yeah, Quinn Head had Kilby come up on him. We've seen Kilby show good hand.
Down 11. 2 wideouts to the nearest to throw. Now he rolls to his left, loads it up, throws it long upfield, and it's broken up by Adrian Cross. Ball was intended for Daniel Davis, the leading receiver on this team, and beautifully defended by the Blue Dragons. It'll be a punt situation.
Yeah, you can't play it better defensively than that. Cross was right with the wide receiver, had one hand in his hip, and came across just like you teach him to do with the other hand and swatted it away.
For the Blue Dragons, it is Waller back in single safety on the punt situation.
The Blue Dragons short on the field, trying to send Holbert out late. I take it back. They put 12 on when they threw Holbert out there.
Well,
Yeah, illegal substitution, so that added 12, or made it 12. You're correct, Darren.
penalties in this game have, I don't remember a penalty on Garden City so far in this contest. Dragons have had several. Still a punt situation.
Steve Carpenter passing along that 5 penalties on the Dragons for 46 yards. No penalties at this point on the Broncbusters. You're correct.
Punts off, but just barely. Not a good punt. Does take a Garden City roll. Bounces up, and the Dragons dangerously fielded on the bounce. Hutchinson will control it at its own 41-yard line. Boy, that had disaster potential written all over it.
Yeah, we've seen disaster at the punt return position for the last couple of years, and this is the thing I like about having Deshaun Waller back there. He's made relatively great decisions. That one, not one of them.
So the Blue Dragon offense, well, we see, is there a flag, Glenn, down there at about
well,
the
they're
25?
talking things over.
I think there is
there
on
is,
the far
yes.
side of the field. Let's see what that thing is all about.
Laying at the 25, so let's see what this is about. By the way, my sideline report's brought to you by, of course, Oliver's Beef and Brew up on 30th. $1 kids menus with the adult all-tray purchased on Saturdays. And also Jackson Meat and Tycoon Kinesiology.
Got me a couple of orders of cheese balls last night from Oliver's.
I
It's
bet
kind of
you
a
did.
Friday tradition for me.
Is it?
Sometimes I get the gizzards and fried pickles, but played it
That,
safe with
you
the
know
cheese
what,
balls last
Darren,
night.
that explains a lot.
I bet it would.
I bet it does.
Can you be a little bit more specific?
So are you talking to Glenn or are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm talking to Glenn.
Glenn, be more specific, he says.
It's going to repeat fourth down, guys. They're going to kick it over.
Glenn's not going there.
And neither are you, Rusty.
You're right. Well, illegal substitution.
Now watch the fake
now
here,
it's
guys.
4th down and 1. Dragons continue to be plagued with little nitpicking penalties. I still think Garden City is going to punt it, but maybe not on 4th and 1.
A lot of confusion on that special teams unit for the Blue Dragons.
Trying to get the Dragons to jump offside with a long count. Dragons not biting. Still a long count. Still a long count.
And he took a timeout.
They snapped it to the up back, but a timeout was taken before the play got underway. We'll take a break. 12:46 to go in the first half. 7-7. Back in half a minute.
Just when you thought you were done with taxes, you got a letter from the IRS. Maybe you're being audited, or maybe you filed for an extension and still need some tax help. We at H&R Block are there for you. We don't stop working on April 15th. Our tax professionals are here to help you year-round. So if you have tax issues you need a hand with, even if H&R Block didn't do your taxes the first time around, visit our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, or Ellsworth and let our experienced tax professionals help get you every dollar you deserve.
It is 4th down and 1. Garden City. Will they punt it? Dangerous spot to not punt it. They're inside their own 30-yard line. Hutchinson has committed a couple of substitution penalties on the preceding 2 plays. Still the long count. Still the long count. Now they snap it, and the punt is off, but just barely. Dragon might have gotten a piece of that. It went spinning sideways and went out of bounds on the Garden City side of midfield, so it'll be a net of under 20 yards.
Yeah, and kind of rare for Dahl. He averages 35 yards per punt, but you're right. Jerry Jacobs got in there and kind of gave him a scare.
He might have got part of it. If not, he certainly made it go off his foot really weird. That was a terrible-looking kick.
Yeah, it was floating like a Frisbee out there as it was headed for the sideline. Dragons with great field position. They put it down at the 41-yard line. It is a net of just 12 yards. And the Blue Dragon offense returns. Otis Williams is the running back. Jones goes under center. Gives it off to Williams, and Williams tries the middle and gets hammered back. Might have gotten a yard. That big Blue Dragon offensive line right now, all it can handle with this defensive front of Garden City. 7-7 football game. Rusty Hills, Darren Dunn, and Glenn Grunwald with you from Western Kansas.
There you go, number 97, TJ Fahoko, who's out of Salt Lake City. Came in there strong right there to stop Otis.
The Dragons, 2nd down, better than 8 yards to go. And they give it off to Emmons, and Emmons is grabbed right at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten about a yard.
Makai Long just able to kind of be free on the play and get in there and make the tackle. This is the problem when you have the Broncbusters loading up the box. There's just not enough bodies offensively to block the defensive bodies.
And you're going to have to complete some passes. The Dragons have, but not with the level of consistency that would have an altering effect on the Garden City defense. And now they're looking for a pass play on 3rd and 7. Jones stands back in the shotgun. Drew Garden City offside. Now looks over at the sideline, and the play clock goes. Played just 19 minutes of football. And now this.
I mean, just look at the corners on these wide receivers when the Blue Dragons break this huddle. In that formation, had they gotten the playoff, Marcus Edwards had nobody between of him.
Dragons need a big play. They've been in Garden City territory a number of times, only one score. Wilson running around, starts to run out of time, throws it downfield, and it is incomplete.
It was unfortunate that Jones had to roll right because of the pressure, because he had Marcus Edwards wide open down the left sideline.
Just couldn't get it on target, and the Dragons will again have to punt. You wonder how many opportunities you're going to get to take the lead in this game with trips into Garden City territory. And the Blue Dragons time and time again have been turned away since that opening drive.
Yeah, and at some point you ask yourself, do I want a chance, a long field goal attempt?
Dragons will punt it. Punt is high. Fair catch signaled and made by Garden City near the 10-yard line. So the Dragons are winning the battle of field position. That's something that Jeff Sims says I like to win. He said if you can play most of the game on the other team's side of the 50, you're generally speaking going to have good things happen. Well, the Blue Dragons, with few exceptions, have been down in Garden City territory, but have produced only 7 points. Put the ball down at the 9.
Have you ever seen a coach nearly break his fingers calling for a timeout? Because when we went to break earlier on that 4th down and they were looking to punt or fake, I thought he snapped his fingers off. He called for that timeout so hard.
Wilson wants to throw, throws it upfield, completes it out across the 20 to the 21-yard line. That toss right on target for Remy Simmons. And Garden City has a quarterback that looks pretty doggone good, but Simmons took a heck of a pop after handling the pass, and he is still down.
And that would be a pretty big loss for the Broncbusters in the passing game. We mentioned 42% of Wilson's completions go to Davis. Well, the other part of those completions, another 12, have gone to Simmons. This is their second leading receiver.
He is up, walking off the field under his own power, actually jogging off. It is enough for a first down. And they move the football out just across the 20-yard line of the Broncbusters. Almost 11 minutes yet remain in the first half. 7-7 football game. Each team scoring on its opening drive. 2 wideouts to the left. A running play. And that is non-productive. There just are very few teams that have been able to move the ball at all against the Dragon defense on the ground.
Drew Harvey on the stop right there, Defensive Player of the Week for the Jayhawk Conference for the Blue Dragons.
Let's call it a gain of perhaps a half yard. Big old tight end, Nigel Kilby, sets up on the left side this time. And a handoff, Dragons again snuff it out. Tried to make it look like a pass play, handed it off instead, and the Dragons just aren't yielding anything on those carries into the middle of the line.
Yeah, well, you know, Coach Sims had talked about it's going to start at the line. How are we going to play that game? Can we get a push? Well, I would say no on that play. Tyrus Butler, right off the nose position, able to disrupt that run before it started.
Find the big tight end, Nigel Kilby. Passing situation. Wilson throws it over the middle, and there's Kilby with the catch and a first down. Or very close to it. The Dragons have no answer for the 6'8", 255-pound tight end, and that moves the chains.
Well, and he showed his strength. He got up there and caught the ball away from his body, and he left it there while 3 defenders dragged around his feet.
Wilson will throw on first down if he has time. Breaks out of containment, rolls to his right, buying time, will now run with it and get shoved out of bounds very near the original line of scrimmage.
Good pursuit to make him flush him out, and good job by Guy Victoria to run him out of bounds.
Well, and Victoria is not a guy that Wilson wants to meet. He couldn't get out of bounds fast enough.
They give him a gain, let's call it no gain on the play. Ball remains at the 32-yard line on the Garden City half of the field. Clock just moving under the 9-minute mark of the first half. Wilson hands off, and the Dragons just continue to stuff the running plays. Charles West, yards coming in, of a yard.
Drew Harvey again on the stop. He's playing like a there. Right now, Butler on the bench. Either he was the one that first put a lot of pressure out there.
Third down, almost 12 yards to go for Garden City.
Here's your third long situation where you might see a punt.
Watch the tight end.
Watch big old Nigel Kilby. They throw it out Kilby's direction. The pass is complete for a short gain. Nowhere near enough for a first down. Late flag flies over on the far side.
Yeah, pushing, at least put on by big number 66 for the Broncbusters. Let's see if it's a retaliation or not. Jason Trisant.
Well, Garden City has yet to be penalized in this football game.
It's usually always the one on the second push that gets caught. And I definitely saw him push off in the Blue Dragon, and the Blue Dragon did not push back. So let's see what the call is going to be.
Officials taking a long time to make the decision. The pass play.
They decide no foul on the play, so only third down. Fourth down, excuse me.
So it is fourth situation here. Dragons bring the for guard 32. Think they can get to one of his punts. Would they go for this one? Bounces back to him. Dragons were trying to set up a return, and the punt is booted down into Dragon territory. Pretty effective. Between the 30 and the 35-yard line, it rolls dead. Hutchinson will start there. 7-7 game, 7:44 left in the first half. I said 37. I missed it by 5 yards. They're actually going to put it down at the 42-yard line. So once again, guys, great field position by the Blue Dragons. They've had the better of the field position game by a wide margin.
Yeah, well, Dahl's not punting it in game the way he was in pregame. He was getting nice tight spirals and getting the ball to turn over. That was an end-over-end kick, and it bounced like it was going to go along the sideline, but hit out at the 42 where they marked it.
Cam Jones at the quarterback. He stands back in the gun, man, and motion across the formation. They run the end around, and Garden City not fooled. Loss on the play as the Blue Dragon Marcus Edwards to the edge, and he is pounded down for a loss, and the Blue Dragon is not functioning at the moment.
Fourth, he knew he couldn't contain the man coming edge, and that's what he got called for.
Well, let's see if they take the penalty. The play went for a loss of 2 or 3. They're going to step it off.
Yeah, I think you do. I mean, of course, as we've said, if a normal person would do it or a normal coach would go by the standard coaching guide 101, you would take it. Typically, Jeff Sims does the opposite. But as far as the field game goes here and that field position, probably best to mark it back even farther.
First down and 20 for the Blue Dragons, who desperately need to come up with a big play of some sort. And they'll go with a run and into the middle of the pile, and then bouncing off of it is Emmons. Let's see where they give him forward progress to. He was pushed backwards about 5 or 6 yards by a covey of Garden City defenders.
You don't want to see him blow a play dead too early in case a guy can break free, but it seemed like that whistle probably could have come a little bit sooner.
Play is going to go for a loss of a yard or 2. A lot of delays in this football game. I didn't see a flag. There is one. Yep. So the Dragons would have been guilty of their third illegal formation call of the game, but it's going to be declined.
You know, it's real simple. Who's snapping the ball? Find him. Get your head through his waist. It's not that hard to put 7 on the line.
Yep. So the Blue Dragons have a second down, really long. I'm going to say 22 yards to go. And the Dragons give to Emmons, and Emmons battles for what he can, which is 3 or 4 yards perhaps, no more than that. And the defenses are dominating this football game at the moment. 7-7, 6:22 to play in the first half. After each team scored on its opening possession, I said, I remember a game here 4 years ago that ended 63-49. Somebody must have heard me, and they said the defenses are taking over. Dragons still need about 18 on third down. Instead, they'll go with a run to Waller. Waller breaks to the outside. He has a little bit of room, turns the corner. He's at the 50 and taken all the way down across the 50 to the 40-yard line. It'll be a Dragon first down. He stepped out of bounds, I think, at the 45, but still a first down if the play stands.
Tack on 15 for the horse collar.
And there also was a flag earlier, so it might be offsetting here. Let's see. Deshaun's a talent. He finds a way of getting open, and when he does, he makes something happen.
Well, we believe the last flag was for a horse collar. I'm not sure what the first flag was. It would be a shame from a Hutchinson stage loss.
Holding, offense, number 3, horse collar tackle, defense, number 13, those penalties offset.
Both of them.
You know, this is at least the third time I can remember that Deshaun Waller has had a huge play. Had a punt return for a touchdown in the opener. had a big play against Iowa Western that came back, and now this one on a 3rd and long that because of a penalty is brought back.
Blue Dragons just continue to have problems in execution. That's got to be close to 10 penalties here in the first half, I would think. 8, Steve Carpenter says. A couple others have been declined. So it is still 3rd down and a bunch. Can the Dragons do it again? You can bet that Garden City will be looking for Mr. Waller this time. Dragons will go to the pass. Cam Jones starts to run out of time, runs toward the sideline, and will run out of bounds way short of the first down. Got it out to about the 37-yard line. Dragons will have to punt.
He's run out of bounds at about the 30.
And we'll see how the Dragons come out on this. They have been pinning Garden City down near its own 10-yard line.
Yeah, and Gagan, he has an opportunity here to really put his foot into this one.
Has the wind at his back.
And see if he drops this one more like a traditional drop with the bottom flat rather than the point down like he's been doing.
Gagan gets an okay snap, gets the punt off, and it is a good one, angled away from the safety. Takes a Hutchinson bounce and will go all the way into the end zone. That was a bomb. 64-yard punt, 44 yards effectively, because it comes out to the 20 on the touchback.
Yeah, just a little bit of more of an angle, and he would have had that out inside the 5.
Yep. Thought for a second it was going to skip out of bounds near that 1-yard line, but at the last moment it just toppled into the end zone. Gagan has quite a leg. Garden City gets the ball back. Game tied at 7, 4:48 to go in the first half.
Another score update from around the league. Butler had Iowa Western down 14-0 early. Iowa Western has since scored. It's now 14-7 in El Dorado.
This is the only true league game on this Saturday. Wilson loads it up, delivers it low, and I think that one was trapped, and it'll be an incomplete pass. Pretty good pass coverage by Blue Dragon defender Story Jackson.
I'll tell you the one thing about Wilson, the only thing that I've seen that is something he needs to work on when he throws those passes, when his players sit down, especially on the edges, he oftentimes gets it down at their ankles and throws it a little bit short and doesn't give his receiver a chance to get it.
They break the huddle quickly, try to run the pitch to the near side of the field and get a pretty good gain out of it. Charles West able to turn the corner, and he'll pick up some significant yardage. Not enough for a first down, but enough to make it 3rd down and 3.
Drew Harvey read it, had a shot to clock him after a short gain, but just misread the angle.
West is a strong kid, 5'10", 200-pounder. Out of the state of Texas, Coppell specifically. Broncbusters, once they come out of that huddle, they are quickly into position to run the play. Wilson wants to air it out, throws it short, and the Dragons miss a tackle. And as a result, it is Remy Simmons able to get perhaps enough for a first down.
It'll be just a little bit short.
So it is 4th down. Garden City, would they go for it here? They bring the punt team on, but I'm not sure the Dragons are necessarily buying.
I would be ready, but I would think his convictions are enough that Jeff Sims punts it here. And he doesn't have Remy in the backfield, but he does have West, who could fake it.
They snapped it to the up back once, a play that was negated by a previously called timeout.
Yeah,
They
they
do it again, and now they pitch it back. It's fumbled, and I don't think they got it. They go for it on 4th down, and they did not convert. The Blue Dragons will get it back. That was quite a play. They snapped it to the up back, who pitched it back to the trailer, and he didn't handle it quickly.
Have you ever seen an option to the punter?
No.
We just did, because West, the play was red. Holbert was there and knocked West back, but West released the pitch just in time. And I bet you that James Dahl's eyes were as big as they could possibly get because the entire Blue Dragon defense was coming at him.
He might have gotten the first down had he fielded it cleanly.
Got it on the bounce, though, and just tried to turn it up and didn't get it. Great opportunity here for the Blue Dragons.
The Blue Dragons just have to capitalize. They have been in the Garden City half of the field all night long. There's a flag on the play, and the ball thrown over the middle. Terrible pass. Open receiver down on the goal line, and the ball thrown 5 yards in front of him.
And, you know, we're really going to hate if this is another illegal formation.
Illegal formation again. 9th penalty. 9th penalty for the Blue Dragons here in the first half. This is game number 4. It is hard to understand so many problems in getting lined up properly. Dragon defense playing magnificently. 7-7 football game. Now it is a first down and 15. 2 wide outs to the right side. Get up on the line of scrimmage. High snap. Late handoff. And Otis Williams got 2 or 3 yards before being buried.
Mekhi Long just stuffed that out right there in the middle, made a huge pop, and it was a big enough pop that it made the crowd ooh and ah.
Call it a pickup of just 2 on the play for the Blue Dragon running back. And it is a second down, 13.
I think you want to maybe take a shot, but at the same time, you have a chance here to take a long field goal, so keep yourself at least in field goal position.
This game might be won by a field goal. I doubt it, but you never know. Wilson out of the gun, loads it up, throws it upfield, has his man, and it is caught at the goal line. It is a touchdown. Touchdown throw, Cam Wilson putting it right into the hands of Jawan Johnson. Our Cam,
they're going to mark it.
I said Cam Jones.
They're going to mark it right inside the 1 or 2, guys.
Yeah, he caught it and came down with it, and since he's down by contact with the ground, they'll mark him at the 1. Jalen Irwin was wide open on the left side as well. What a catch.
It was a beautiful catch and a very nice throw. I said Cam Wilson. Obviously, it was Cam Jones. Dragons hand off. Emmons pounds. Emmons pounds, and the official says no touchdown.
Mekhi Long able to get back through the line again and wrap Emmons up around the waist before he could really get those legs churning.
Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to take a couple more plays to get this thing into the end zone, so long as you get the job done.
Well, yeah. I think if Cam can do a little bootleg, he could walk into the either side because they're really crashing in hard in the middle.
Dragons pop out, and they blow the play dead.
They blew it dead, guys. Emmons was doing just that around the left side.
And Sims took the timeout.
So we'll break 2. Still a minute 28 remaining in the first half. 7-7 football game. Second and goal from the Dragons from inside the 1 when we return to Broncbuster Stadium in Garden City in 30 seconds.
The Rothy family name has always been connected to serving the Hutchinson community, and you can expect the same kind of high-quality service when you visit Rothy Family Flooring. They believe you deserve to be treated like family, so they've invested in their own talented and trustworthy installers to lay your floors. No outside contractors will ever knock on your door if Rothy works for you. Let them show you their expansive selection of name brand flooring and trust your home to the best. Rothy Family Flooring, 325 North Main, Hutchinson.
Great opportunity for the Blue Dragons and to make the gamble by Garden City of going for it on 4th down. Make it work badly for the Broncbusters. Dragons need to get it into the end zone. Glenn, what, 18 inches maybe?
Yeah, maybe that.
Second and goal. Dragons hand off, go straight ahead. Good line surge, touchdown. Touchdown, Blue Dragons. And with a minute 26 to go in the first half, Hutchinson has reclaimed the lead, 13-7.
2 times they've gotten touchdowns. They've both come from Emmons, and they've both come from about a half-yard out.
He runs hard. That interior defense of Garden City pretty potent, but the Dragons got a big pass play to set that one up. And now Niemeyer on to try to make it 14-7. Kick is up, and the kick is good. And Niemeyer looks as though he could do it all night long. Indeed, he has not missed all season long. 23 of 23, 14-7 Dragons. Hutchinson will kick to Garden City with 1:26 remaining. All of that coming up in 30 seconds.
It could be you just woke up feeling way too yucky, or one of your kids gets really scuffed up while playing. Whatever the reason, you might need same-day medical care. You'll really appreciate the Prairie Star Walk-In Clinic. We're concerned about your well-being, whether you have insurance or not. Welcome to the responsive care you deserve at Prairie Star Health Center, 30th and K61 in Hutchinson.
Well, the last time the Blue Dragons scored, we saw Garden City come back with a big pass play all the way down the field, get a quick answering touchdown. Blue Dragons would like to prevent that from happening and take the lead into the halftime break. For the Blue Dragons, Donovan Gagan will kick. Wind at his back. Bombs it. Blasts it down into the end zone. Garden City will down it and bring it out to the 25-yard line. 86 seconds remain in the first half. 14-7 Hutchinson.
You mentioned the pass game for the Broncbusters. One thing we really haven't seen much, but maybe once, and it was pretty well contained, is Wilson pulling the ball down and running. He's the second leading rusher on this team. Averages 4.3 yards per carry. I don't know now's the time for him to do that, but if you're the Blue Dragons, you got to keep that quarterback spy on him, though, and not let him get loose.
I agree. And now you're a little bit less likely to be hurt by the tight end because Garden City probably needs some pretty good chunks of yardage, and they'll go with the run. And Charles West hasn't gotten much on any of his efforts in this first half. He doesn't get much here. Hutchinson, as much as anything, has taken the lead in this game because they have had great field position throughout the first half.
And able to possess the ball for over 13 minutes.
Second down, still 10 yards to go. Garden City not in any hurry. Might be an indicator that Jeff Sims is going to play this one cautiously. Play clock is at 7.
Yeah, it may take a timeout here.
And with the play clock at 1, that is exactly what they will do. 41 seconds left in the first half. We'll return for those 41 in half a minute.
This is Parker Fowle, president of Hutchinson Community College. The proud tradition of Blue Dragon sports continues this fall. I encourage you to take advantage of the Blue Dragon All Sports ticket. For just $60 for adults and $40 for K through 12 students, you can enjoy over 50 athletic events at Hutchinson Community College. These are general admission tickets, which include football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, baseball, and other selected events. Get yours today at the sports arena or at area Dillon stores. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and keep current on all Blue Dragon news and events at BlueDragonSports.com.
Well, Glenn, the
Yep.
Blue Dragons don't want to give up any big
No,
plays
they
here.
don't. You can't give up a big one here with 41 seconds left to go. And I was checking on Jawan Johnson. He got a little banged up on that catch that he made. He took it all the way down to the 2, and we'll see if he's going to be affected by a little strain or not.
Well, Remy Simmons for Garden City got popped pretty good early in the game. Now Garden City will go into, hard to call it victory formation when you trail 14-7. But it looks like they're just going to take a knee. And the Blue Dragons aren't going to stop it. They'll have to do it. They won't have to do it again if they don't want to, because the Broncbusters can let the first half of this game run out if they so choose.
There's some talking going on from some of the Broncbusters, at least. Teammates pulling guys away. I don't trust this. If they snap it, they're going to do it. They're going to run a play.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Darren, to kind of lull them into, hey, we're going to take a knee, and then not.
And now they stand up.
By now they're probably not going to, but
now it's down to 6, 5, 4, and we are at halftime. That is indicative of the distrust that teams have for Jeff Sims and his often cantankerous decision making. But the Blue Dragons take into the halftime break a touchdown advantage, 14-7. We'll take 2 minutes and be back with the halftime from Western Kansas.
There's something new about Reno County area transportation. The drivers are wearing safety green uniforms. These will alert motorists when drivers are on the street, assisting passengers on and off the bus, keeping everyone safer. RCAT is first come, first served general public transportation that has a bright future. And it's not just the color of our shirts. Call 694-2913 for information.
For quality in product and in service, choose your Trane air conditioning system from E&M Plumbing. E&M can supply you with high-efficiency Trane systems with the same high-quality insulation you've come to expect from their long-time service experience. They'll answer any questions you have about the new high-efficiency Trane units with no obligation. Thinking air conditioning? Think E&M Plumbing Incorporated, 701 West 2nd, 662-1281. After all, it's hard to stop a Trane.
Just as the Hutchinson Blue Dragons athletics are a tradition, so is the Anchor Inn in downtown Hutchinson. Whether you plan lunch or dinner or even take out for home, the Anchor Inn is a great family restaurant that you are sure to enjoy. Order off their great menu or take advantage of the Anchor Inn's awesome buffet. You'll make a great choice either way. The Anchor Inn is also a great spot to meet up with old friends and acquaintances because everyone goes to the Anchor. That's the Anchor Inn at 128 South Main in Hutchinson, proud supporters of Hutchinson Blue Dragon Athletics.
Ever wonder why some wireless carriers charge so much more than others? At Nextech Wireless, you'll receive nationwide coverage, 4G LTE data, and unlimited data. But we don't overcharge you like some of the other carriers do. Plus, we have buy one, get one free smartphones and the best customer service. With more than 50 stores in our area, you can actually talk to us face to face. Tired of paying more and only getting more fees, charges, and a higher bill? Say goodbye to your carrier and hello to Nextech Wireless.
It was an offensive show for about the game's, let's say, first 5 or 6 minutes. Each team scoring once. The Blue Dragons on the opening drive of the game, then Garden City answering. And that score came with still almost 8 minutes remaining in the first quarter. From there on, it was a defensive struggle with not much happening until the Blue Dragons got a big pass completion to Jawan Johnson down to about the 1 yard line, and B.J. Emmons was able to pound it in from there. As Darren told you, he has 2 scores, and each on a 1 yard run, and because of that, the Blue Dragons at halftime with a 14-7 edge over Garden City. This is, of course, the Medicine Shop first half game capsule. I've been told by my physician friends that the perfect time to get flu shots is probably in early October. It takes a little while for the shot to become effective. It's getting pretty close to early October, and the Medicine Shop would like to remind you that Lacey offers the softest touch on flu shots. They're available now at the Medicine Shop, covered by Medicare and most prescription insurances. The Medicine Shop carries only the quadrivalent flu vaccine. Some have the trivalent, and that's not as broad a spectrum as the quadrivalent. Medicine Shop also offers pneumonia shots. Thinnest needles possible, Lacey's gentle approach. That's the softest touch at the Medicine Shop. First half statistics show the Blue Dragons dominating slightly in total offense, if it's possible to dominate slightly. 169 to 126, the total offensive figures. Hutchinson with pretty good balance, 76 on the ground, 24 rushing plays, averaging just over 3 a carry. Garden City on 13 rushes, 14 yards. The Dragon defense against the run, really stingy. The Blue Dragons with 93 yards passing, Garden City with 112. Some individual statistics, nothing really impressive for Hutchinson. B.J. Emmons does have 15 carries, good for 52 yards. He has both Dragon touchdowns. Cam Jones went 5 of 11 passing in the first half. His counterpart from Garden City, Terry Wilson, was 11 of 18. Jawan Johnson with 2 receptions for the Dragons, good for 64 yards. Those were the 2 biggest plays of the game for Hutchinson. And for Garden City, we talked a lot about Nigel Kilby, the 6'8 tight end, 255-pounder. He grabbed 4 passes for 42 yards and their 1 touchdown. So at the halftime break, 14-7 Hutchinson. We'll take a 2-minute break. Be back with more.
Hello, this is Tom Elliott of Elliott Mortuary, and again this year we are pleased to help sponsor HCC Blue Dragon Sports. We encourage you to support all the Blue Dragon games, both home and away, with your attendance, but if not, we hope you enjoy listening to the game here on KWBW and Country 102.9. Elliott Mortuary and Crematory, a proud sponsor of Hutchinson Community College, and honored to have served the families of Hutchinson and Reno County since 1935.
Hi, I'm Ken Hyman, General Manager of Midwest Superstore in Hutchinson. We're proud to be a sponsor of HCC Sports. You have choices when it comes to your vehicle purchases, and a better way is more than a slogan. Any new or select pre-owned purchase comes with our Advantage Rewards benefits. That includes complimentary car washes with every service visit, a loaner car with any major service, including oil changes and tire rotations. A better way also means no high-pressure sales taxes. Everyone has deals, but do they take care of you after the sale? Visit us at MidwestSuperstore.com and go Blue Dragons.
Hello, my name is Dr. Brandy Weems, family practitioner at Summit Healthcare. We offer the full spectrum of family practice services, including well child checks, chronic disease management, and in-office procedures. Summit Healthcare is committed to providing quality family medicine and walk-in care to patients of all ages. As a Hutchinson native, I am honored to return to this wonderful community where the inspiration for my medical journey began. Schedule your appointment with me, Dr. Weems, at Summit Healthcare today, 662-6000.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Dragons! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome back to Garden City. It's halftime, 14-7, Blue Dragons on top. I'm Glenn Grunwald, and going to cover you for the halftime, joined by Steve Carpenter, Fine Sports Information Director at Hutch Community College. You can't be in 3 places or even 4 places at one time, Steve, but I've seen you be in a couple, but we're not able to go up to Colby volleyball. They got the first match won it. I watched that one on the stream and then dropped 3 straight to a very talented Colby team.
Colby is probably going to be ranked this week. They're very good in the community building. Won 3-1 today and simply just played better than Hutchinson. The Dragons had a good second set, but offensively they struggled. I think they hit less than 125, and you want to hit around 300 as a team to be successful. But Colby just simply played better today, but it's a quick turnaround for the volleyball team. They're at Barton on Monday night, at Pratt Wednesday before that huge tournament next weekend at the Sports Arena, the Blue Dragon Classic, where 12 of the nation's best teams are going to come in. They all want to get a look at the national championship courts in
nice
November.
Draw, nice draw.
Yeah, so the Dragons will play 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday next week at the Sports Arena. Former head coach and Blue Dragon Hall of Famer Rhonda Shirley will be back with her Navarro team. They're going to be here, and there's going to be a lot of great volleyball played next Friday and Saturday at the Sports Arena. I hope everybody comes out and watches that and really appreciates some fine volleyball.
Third set, they dropped 25-23. That was a little bit of a turning point right there.
The third
Because if they went 2-2, that could have made a lot of difference.
The third set, they got clocked 25-10. It was a fourth set they lost 25-23.
Last set.
They got it tied at 23. And then Colby won the last 2 points, unfortunately. But, yeah, if it goes 5, who knows? It's 15 points on rally score. Who knows what's going to happen when you get to a 5th set. That's why everybody always tries to avoid a 5th set. But, the Dragons, it's only September 16th. This was going to be a team with a lot of growing pains. Yes, they've knocked off the number 4 team in the country, but they've also shown signs that they can struggle. They're also working between 2 offensive systems, between the 5-1 and the 6-2. And more, I think Patrick Hall's probably going to have to stick with the 5-1, at least for the time being, because they seem to flow a little bit better within that. But, over the week, Paige Hebert was the National Volleyball Player of the Week.
National
and she's having a great year. She comes out of a volleyball power, Gospel High School, and, she's having a great year. Didn't have a very good day today, but really nobody did when you talk to Coach Hall. We got a couple of transfers from Cowley in. in McKenna Sullivan and Tatiana Ndekwe, who have really added some power to the Dragon lineup. And Katie Jordan, the setter, really, I think really excels running the 5-1. So I think you'll see the Blue Dragons, at least for the time being, run a lot more 5-1 than 6-2. And we'll see what happens. And like I said, they go to Barton Monday, Pratt Wednesday before returning home next weekend.
All right, so next weekend people can come on out and follow them on the road as well down at Barton and Pratt. Crazy Little Irishman, how does his team do out at Goodland?
Well, 2-1. They gave up their first goal of the year.
I say that lovingly, Sandy.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. They went 6.5 matches all told, and put together the second longest streak without, in terms of time without a goal, 595 minutes before Northwest Tech connected on a free kick in the 55th minute of the second half. But Kaylin Sabala, about 6 minutes later, scored the go-ahead goal for the Dragons on a great feed from Michaela Moresco. The Dragons got a huge 2-1 win. That's not only a conference win, that's a region win. So the Dragons are now 7-0 overall, 2-0 in the league, 3-0 in the region, and really kind of in the driver's seat already for the Jayhawk West title. They will play Dodge City at home on Wednesday, 4 o'clock at the Salthawk Activity Center, and we'd love to see a huge crowd out there for that, because this team, it's getting better every time out. They don't score as many goals as they did last year, but the team makeup is really more defensive. Ashley Main had another stupendous day in goal. The Bueller High graduate, she's a sophomore this year. It was the first time she was scored upon today.
Mm-hmm.
She's 4-0 with 3 shutouts, but she made 4 dazzling saves to keep the Dragons in that game. Very easily, Northwest Tech could have scored 4 goals, but the Blue Dragons win it 2-1.
Outstanding. Last but not least, cross country in Missouri.
At the Missouri Southern Stampede, and big news out of there, Maggie Lambert, a sophomore runner, ran the second fastest time in Blue Dragon history today. She finished 8th overall in the very tough field that was filled with a lot of Jayhawk Conference runners, but her time of 19 minutes, 9.06 seconds is the second fastest time in school history, and there are a lot of good runners in there. The women finished 10th. The men finished 9th. The men were running all freshmen today. They've had a few injuries with their sophomores. But so the men really finished well, finishing 9th. And it was a good day all the way around for Justin Rick's crew down in Missouri.
We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. We're out in Garden City. It's 14-7. Blue Dragons lead it at halftime. Steve Carpenter and I'm going to come back and talk about this first half of play, which was crazy with all the penalties going on. But the Dragons do have a 14-7 lead at intermission. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
We all like to save money when and where we can, right? You can do that every day at Salt City Pawn and Jewelry. Hi, this is owner Paul Phillips inviting you to stop in and say hi to our friendly staff. And while you're here, check out over 3,000 square feet of great merchandise priced at outstanding values. We don't have to offer huge sale prices for one day only when we do that on a daily basis. Save big over retail prices on firearms, electronics, guitars and amps, name brand tools, video games, jewelry, and more. See us at 916 East 4th and Hutch, just east of 4th and Severance. We're proud to be alumni and supporters of all Blue Dragon athletics.
HCC Sports is brought to you by the Sportscaster Club members, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert F. of the Hutchinson Clinic, Barkley Plumbing, Vernon Chiropractic Center, Tim and Gina Ritter, along with Brian Strange of the Green Vision Group, Sutton Kaufman Transmission Service, Wade Patton Insurance, A&A Builders, Bold Office Shares, Mega Manufacturing, MAYB, Mid-America Youth Basketball, Lowen Corporation, and by Mann, Wyatt, and Rice, LLC. These Sportscaster Club members help provide funds for HCC scholarships.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Garden City. 14-7 at halftime. Glenn Grunwald, Steve Carpenter, glad to have you along this evening, and hope you folks that are out in town for the fair are enjoying your time this weekend as well, and hope you've had a good break in the weather as well. A little bit of precipitation this morning, but and as I drove out here, I was about a 5% chance, but it's cleared off nice. A little bit of a wind out of the north, but about 80-degree kickoff temperature here in Garden City. Interesting first half, Carp. The Dragons drove right on down the field, scored pretty easily, actually. Took that lead 7-0. Garden City came right back as you knew they would, and then we were long time and had fake punts and had pitches on punts on 4th down, crazy types of calls. But here we set a 14-7. Nice job by the Blue Dragons to punch it in.
Very much so. It was they stepped on a Garden City mistake, which was huge because they had a couple of chances earlier in the game and didn't get it done. But that fake punt, the option to the punter, there's one you're not going to see very often.
No, you're not going to see that very often.
Not even in Pee Wee football. But, the Dragons were able to take advantage of it. What a catch from Juwan Johnson, a diving catch down to the 1. And then the Dragons just persevered. DJ Emmons had a second touchdown in the game over the top. And the Dragons get the lead. So now the Dragons defensively have done a nice job in keeping Terry Wilson in check. And they have to keep an eye on that big tight end, Nigel Kilby, too. They keep shutting down the run. I like their chances.
Yeah, exactly. And this is such an important game for the Blue Dragons because it is a crazy conference this year, and we're the only conference game this evening.
Well, you don't want, as that is, you still don't want to let Independence get any kind of distance between the rest of the field and themselves. So, yeah, this is hugely important. A chance to really do a number on Garden City, a game that Hutchinson should have won in Gowan Stadium last year, wasn't able to finish it off. So this would be a big win on a lot of different fronts. Finally, the Dragons could start getting some love in the polls. They haven't even gotten a sniff yet through 3 weeks in the national rankings. So this is a big game on a lot of different fronts. Most importantly, in the standings, that's the biggest impact this game will have.
Games earlier in the afternoon, Dodge City a winner over Ellsworth at Ellsworth, Iowa, 36-30, and also Highland did away with Iowa Central, 34-0. Other games going on as we speak. Butler had a 14-7 lead over Iowa Western. That one was in the first half of play. Of course, here 14-7 at intermission. So, Carp, as always, thanks for the update on HCC, and I know Denny Steckline and the gang are listening. Denny's been busy with the fair. We appreciate all the work he does for HCC Athletics, and we'll be back home next week.
Yep, 2 weeks in a row we'll be at home. Next week, a huge football game against Highland and Iowa Central after that. It's going to be a busy weekend next weekend with that volleyball tournament and football going on at the same time on Saturday. The Blue Dragon fans, plenty of action going on. Come out and support the Blue Dragons for a great weekend next weekend.
Still time to get your all sports tickets, and then you can come on and take in the football game next week at noon, and then walk across the parking lot and catch some great volleyball action. 12 top-rated teams. Wow.
It is huge. It's going to be a great tournament. You're going to see a lot of great volleyball, and you're going to see Miami-Dade. You're going to see Iowa Western, and that might be a national championship game matchup.
All right, one last dig. Sorry for Nebraska lost, big guy.
It happens. They're not good.
All right. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. We'll be back with the second half of play. Blue Dragons lead at 14-7 at intermission. Rusty and Darren back in the booth. We'll be back in 1 minute.
15 years, Erickson Custom Building has helped homeowners bring their remodel ideas to life. If you're looking to update a kitchen or bathroom or hoping to remodel your entire home, trust the team at Erickson Custom Building. We create customized plans designed around your dreams, ideas, and budget. For quality and follow-through on any home project, call Erickson Custom Building at 620-585-2816 or visit ericksoncustomBLDG.com.
The Hutch Medicine Shop and the Hutch Blue Dragons have a lot in common. In addition to our logos both being blue, all 3 pharmacists at the Medicine Shop graduated from HCC. Rick Stone in 1984, Brent Bauman in 2001, and Lacey Stone in 2007. In fact, the Medicine Shop has employed over a dozen HCC students over the past 15 years who are now Kansas pharmacists. The Medicine Shop and the Blue Dragons working together as one team.
At halftime, it is Hutchinson with the lead in this battle of powerhouses in western Kansas, 14-7. Blue Dragons scoring with about a minute and a half to go in that first half after Garden City again went for it on fourth down, failed to convert. And as much as anything, because they enjoyed great field position throughout the first half, Hutchinson has a 7-point lead. Blue Dragons led at halftime a year ago, 14-13. And that wasn't enough to get a win here. I think the Dragons will have to score probably another time or two. But that Hutchinson defense, Darren, is playing well.
Defense is playing well. I think the offense is doing all right, but there's some more that offense can do. I mean, they're running the ball not as well as they normally do. By the time they've hit halftime, they have they have 76 yards on the ground right now. The 93 has been through the air. They've had opportunities throwing the ball. They just need to take advantage of them. A couple of balls that could have been thrown for big gains or touchdowns were just overthrown, and that's what Garden City is giving them, is the pass. If they can succeed in the passing game, they can really blow this game wide open.
And it would help if the Blue Dragons would stop putting themselves in 1st and 15 situations because of penalties.
9 penalties for 71 yards in that first half, and what was it, 3 or 4 of them were for illegal formation. So just make sure you have 7 on the line before you run the play. That'll alleviate almost half of the penalties, or a third of the penalties in the first half.
Garden City will get the football to open the third quarter. They'll also have the wind at their back in the period. Garden City clad in yellow, and it has gotten a little bit cooler out west. When we arrived this afternoon, it was 84 degrees. Right now it is 67 and dropping. Understand there is thunderstorms in the area back in Hutchinson. Donovan Gagan has it teed up at the 35-yard line, and we are ready to get the second half underway. Gagan kicking against a breeze in the 15-mile-an-hour category, approaches the football. High kick taken at about the 15-yard line, and a head of steam and open field. Boy, the Blue Dragons were lucky there. Somebody tripped up Charles West. He took that with a full head of steam, brought it back to midfield, and he was very nearly all the way
Yeah,
gone.
lucky that Gagan was there to trip him up, and, of course, on the backside he had Addison Coleman coming to track him down as well.
So Garden City, who suffered from not very good field position in the first half, has outstanding field position to open the second out at their own 46-yard line. And Terry Wilson forced to throw it almost the entire first half because the running game didn't work. He starts with a keep, play action, throws it down the field, and it is incomplete at the 5-yard line. What an arm. Threw that thing about 60 yards in the air. Hutchinson defender running right with the receiver. Defended by Blue Dragon Marcus Edwards. So Garden City trying to start the second half with a big pass play. Second down, Wilson wants to throw. Now he'll run with it, and he's pretty elusive and is dragged down after a gain of about 4 yards. He has it out to midfield. Colby Turner, former Hutchinson High School Salt Hawk, making the tackle. Garden City running plays in a hurry up offense. Wilson on third down, steps up in the pocket, throws it short. It is caught, but not enough for a first down. Nicely defended for the Blue Dragons.
Colby Turner able to get in there again and just hang on to enough of the ankle to bring him down.
It is 4th down and 3, and it appears that Garden City will again go for it. Wow, they have been a gambling team big time on 4th down. This is 4th and 3. You would think they'd try punting it down deep, try to pin Hutchinson, but they'll go for it.
Yeah, watch hard snap count as well.
Trips to the right side. Wilson will run for it, picks up the first down, is dragged down with a first down at the 40-yard line. I'll tell you what, Coach Sims is fearless on those 4th downs.
Yeah, it really seemed like a quarterback draw all the way, and Wilson was held to just 0.7 yards per carry in the first half, already 2 decent runs to start the second half.
Wilson will throw on first down, throws it over the middle and just out of the reach of his intended receiver, and a flag flies. This will be an interference call on the Blue Dragons in the secondary.
Adrian Cross just got a hold of his nameplate on the back there and pulled him down as the pass arrived.
10th penalty of the football game on the Blue Dragons, and it'll be a first down for Garden City. Opening drive of the second half for the Broncbusters, and boy, do they have it in a good spot now. They are at the 26 of the Dragons. And Wilson, quarterback draw again, runs it up the middle, getting big yardage, has a first down or close to it at the 16. Terry Wilson putting on a show.
Well, I think in the first half they were content to let him sling the ball, and here they're designing more runs to see if he can break free on a few.
Well, we talked about his versatility. He is just as good a runner as he is a passer. Dragons might have been offside. Wilson throws, open receiver out in the flat, and a nice tackle by the Blue Dragons defender. Jerry Jacobs came up to make it a heck of a play on Daniel Davis, but a gain nevertheless good for a first down.
Jacobs was sliding by on his back. Davis just needed a good timed jump over the top of him, and Jacobs, while sliding, able to pull him down by the legs.
Ball on the 13-yard line. They go to the run, and there's a little bit of room on the slant to the left side for Garden City. Charles West picks up about 3. And this up-tempo pace right now is working in Garden City's favor. They're 10 yards away from equalizing the count in this game. Wilson with time to throw, throws it in the back of the end zone. There's his big tight end. And we've talked about how miserable Nigel Kilby can make life be for the Dragons, and he does it again as he handles a pass on the back line of the end zone.
Nice corner route to the pylon, a lot of space to get it to him, and both teams have been in the red zone twice now in this game, and everybody collectively 4 for 4 in the red zone.
Now Garden City will try to kick the extra point. They've missed 1 extra point this year. Blue Dragons haven't missed any. Kicker is Dom White. Kick is up, kick is good. We are tied at 14. 12:36 to play in the third quarter. 14 apiece. And the Dragons will get their first crack at the football in the second half when we return in half a minute.
Maybe you're being audited, or maybe you filed for an extension and still need some tax help. We at H&R Block are there for you. We don't stop working on April 15th. Our tax professionals are here to help you year-round. So if you have tax issues you need a hand with, even if H&R Block didn't do your taxes the first time around, visit our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, or Ellsworth and let our experienced tax professionals help get you every dollar you deserve.
Deshaun Waller is back deep for the Blue Dragons, who have just seen Garden City on a 58-yard scoring drive tie the game at 14. We are in western Kansas, home of the Broncbusters. Garden City kicker is Dom White. He begins his run-up, and it is not particularly deep. Fielded at the 24-yard line, and a pretty decent return by the Blue Dragons out across the 35 to the 36. Marcus Edwards on the return for the Dragons. Pretty good field position when you consider Garden City had the wind at their back on the kickoff.
Yeah, and I think they're hoping one of those up-backs are going to take the ball on those kickoffs, but instead the up-backs making a good decision of getting out of the way and letting those back returners catch it in the air and run with it.
And now we'll see whether the Dragons can make an adjustment. Hutchinson scored at the end of the first half. Garden City scored on the opening possession of the third quarter. And now the Blue Dragons with their first chance in the second half. They start with quarterback Cam Jones under center. Shift a man to the left side of the formation. And the give is off to Waller. Waller to the edge. Waller turns the corner.
Wale, that'll stand.
I said he crossed midfield, actually stepped out of bounds on the far side of the field. We have a shallow angle. Difficult to tell where he goes out of bounds.
Yeah, I think they marked it at about the 48, guys.
Yeah, they put it right at the 48. Blue Dragons trying to answer the drive of Garden City with one of their own. Whitmire splits out wide to the right side. Jones under center. Fumbled the snap, picks it up, and turns it into positive yardage.
Well, that's about the best you can hope for in a situation like that. Usually it goes for a no gain or a loss.
Got a couple of yards to the midfield stripe. It'll be second down 8. 11:40 to go in the third quarter of this football game, which is knotted at 14 apiece. Rusty Hills, Glenn Grunwald, and Double D, Darren Dunn with you from western Kansas with Blue Dragon football. Blue Dragons will be back in Gowan Stadium next Saturday. That's a high noon kickoff against a good Highland team. Play action, pressure comes, ball unloaded over the middle. Open receiver. This will be a Dragon catch all the way down inside the 10-yard line. Beautifully thrown to Marquise Whitmire.
Boy, he was wide open.
Let's see where they put it down. They put it at the 4.
Play action really opened that up. You saw kind of the out and back up and in down the middle of the field. Pass was on target.
Jones under center, hands off. There goes Emmons. Emmons pushed back before getting to the end zone, but a pretty good gain on first down to the 2, maybe even the 1-yard line. Second and goal for Hutchinson. 10:30 to play in the third quarter. Dragons trying to move back on top in this game, a game in which they have led by a touchdown on 2 different occasions, but that is now all square at 14. Direct snap to Emmons. Emmons heads for the pylon. Touchdown, Dragons. Emmons took the direct snap and took it in. And the Blue Dragons move back on top 20-14.
Little Wildcat there, guys. Little Wildcat action.
Wildcats in action at Vanderbilt. Not sure what that score is tonight. That's a big game for Kansas State.
This was a big drive right here for the Blue Dragons, answering that Garden City score.
Now Luke Niemeyer tries to get his 3rd extra point of the evening. Snap is okay. The kick is up, and Niemeyer drills it through. He hadn't missed all season long, and the Blue Dragons back on top in this one, 21-14. We'll take a half-minute break and return with more football from Western Kansas.
The Rothy family name has always been connected to serving the Hutchinson community, and you can expect the same kind of high-quality service when you visit Rothy Family Flooring. They believe you deserve to be treated like family, so they've invested in their own talented and trustworthy installers to lay your floors. No outside contractors will ever knock on your door if Rothy works for you. Let them show you their expansive selection of name brand flooring and trust your home to the best. Rothy Family Flooring, 325 North Main, Hutchinson.
So far, Darren, it is just like the start of this football game when each team scored on its opening possession of the quarter.
Yeah, pretty explosive, and I think the second half adjustments here are going to come into play offensively. The Blue Dragons know they kind of need the air game to get them down into the red zone, and then they can finish it off in the power dragon. For the Broncbusters, they feel like they can run Wilson a little bit, get into the red zone, and then find the big tight end, Nigel, for the touchdowns.
Kick is on the ground, still on the ground, and fielded by Garden City down deep, and the Dragons with good kick coverage.
Fumble.
Ball pops loose, but I think the back might have been down. We'll see. Now flags fly, all kinds of flags fly. And we'll let the officials sort it out.
I think he was down, and then the ball popped loose, or maybe even the ground caused, and then flags came in flying. Both teams separated.
2 different officials threw flags. Looked like a parachute jump going on out there for a moment.
Well, that's the beauty of a dead ball flag. It's not a spot play, so you can throw it as high as you want.
Garden City is going to be penalized. Personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct. This will be half the distance to the goal line. And the Blue Dragons, for the first time in this football game, we get a big break because of a Garden City penalty. Pretty effective kick by Gagan.
After the mark-off, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Busters at their 11-yard line.
Ball goes back to the 11-yard line. A lot of fireworks. We still played less than 5 minutes of the third quarter. Hutchinson on top, 21-14. Wilson takes the snap, wants to throw. Now we'll run with it. Pretty elusive. Gets about 5. Well, they're going to say it a little bit less than that. Let's make it a 2nd down and 7 for Garden City. They continue to go with the hurry-up offense. Wilson unloads quickly to the left side, and it is a short gain even though the pass is completed. And a Garden City player shaken up on the play. 9:36 remains in the third quarter. player's going to be all right. Big number 64 gets up for Garden City and goes to the sideline. It is third down, about 2.
It'll be third down and 2 for the Busters.
Ball at the Garden City 19-yard line. Wilson stands back in the gun. He's been there all night long. He is a big chunk of this offense. Has time, unloads up the middle of the field, completes it. Nope, it's dropped, I think, at the last minute. Put it in the hands of Kilby, and that time Kilby couldn't hang on. It'll be fourth down and 2, and you would not expect Garden City to gamble right here.
No, it's come back to hurt him a couple of times already this game, so whatever Sims was thinking early in the game, the closer it gets down to crunch time, he has to be thinking the opposite of even that.
So it will be James Dahl called on to boot the ball out of trouble. Punts off, it's a beauty. And it is going to scoot down that sideline. Official will line it up where it goes out of bounds. He's going to put it down. Well, he's still going upfield. He's going to put it down at the 44-yard line. So Hutchinson, again, good field position. That thing was going right down the sideline. I thought it might have been deeper in Dragon territory where it crossed the boundary, but not so. So the Blue Dragon offense comes back out there. Nobody in this game has led by more than 7. The Dragons have had a 7-point lead on 3 different occasions. Cam Jones back in the gun. 2-step drop, unloads, and it's complete over the middle. Juggled a little bit, but I think that Jawan Johnson got control of it before it hits the ground. The official agrees.
He's having a heck of a game, guys. He had the leaping catch down to the 4 earlier, and right there's a nice catch.
And takes it all the way to the 39-yard line of Garden City.
I'd even say the defender was there a little bit soon, so quite the concentration by Johnson to keep that ball.
Jones again in the gun, man in motion across the formation. Jones back to throw, pressure comes, rolls to his right, being chased, throws it downfield, and it is just out of the reach of an open receiver in the end zone. Jawan Johnson was open, breaking away from the defenders, but to be fair, Cam Jones running, being chased big time, and there's a Blue Dragon shaking up.
Yeah, I'm shaking up big time. I think it's Irwin over there.
Put the glasses on, but I'm not going to speculate until I know for sure.
The thing about that, where Jones is flushed out to the right, he has an opportunity to release the ball on an attempt for the touchdown. Earlier in the game, on a 3rd and long, we saw him flushed out to the left, and there was nothing he could do. He didn't have the option to throw it. He had to pull it down and try to run. So at least the Blue Dragons had an opportunity that time and a shot at the end zone.
They continue to tend to the injured Blue Dragon on his back at the Garden City 48-yard line. Now trainer comes out from the Garden City side. Well, they tend to the injured Blue Dragon. Let's take a 30-second timeout.
It could be you just woke up feeling way too yucky, or one of your kids gets really scuffed up while playing. Whatever the reason, you might need same-day medical care. You'll really appreciate the Prairie Star Walk-In Clinic. We're concerned about your well-being, whether you have insurance or not. Welcome to the responsive care you deserve at Prairie Star Health Center, 30th and K61 in Hutchinson.
2nd down 10. The Dragons give on the short side of the field to Waller. Waller down that sideline has a first down. The Blue Dragons got to the corners in the first half early on. They are doing it again here in the second. So something has changed in the way that play is being blocked, and the Blue Dragons moving the football, trying to establish a 2-score advantage. They have it at the 27-yard line of Garden City. Dragons look like they've made some really good halftime adjustments. Cam Jones from the gun Back to throw. Pressure comes. Unloads over the middle. Caught and taken down to about the 3-yard line. Caught right over the middle of the field by Leroy Watson.
And that's what you need. You need the big pass play to get you down into the red zone inside the 5. Now watch for Emmons to run the Power Dragon.
Yeah, the other tight end that we have, you have Bell, and that one was Watson. And nice job. They'll mark it at the 2.
Dragons
Actually, 3.
Trying to go with that hurry up. They give it to Emmons. Emmons takes it to the outside, walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Dragons, and the lead grows to 2 touchdowns.
So Leroy Watson, the 4th, makes the big catch to get it down close to the goal line. Then he had the block there that sealed it for Emmons to walk into the end zone.
And for the first time all night, the Blue Dragons with a 2-score advantage. And it is Luke Niemeyer to kick the extra point. Chris James is the holder, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. So Niemeyer makes it a 28-14 count. So Garden City scores first in the quarter to tie the game at 14. The Blue Dragons answer with a couple of their own. We're back with more in half a minute.
This is Carter Fowle, president of Hutchinson Community College. The proud tradition of Blue Dragon sports continues this fall. I encourage you to take advantage of the Blue Dragon All Sports ticket. For just $60 for adults and $40 for K through 12 students, you can enjoy over 50 athletic events at Hutchinson Community College. These are general admission tickets, which include football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, baseball, and other selected events. Get yours today at the sports arena or at area Dillon stores. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and keep current on all Blue Dragon news and events at BlueDragonSports.com.
Well, the Blue Dragon offense came out pretty hot here in the second half with 2 scores and 2 possessions.
I tell you guys, they are fired up on the sidelines. I think that was Watson's first catch of the year.
Here comes the kickoff on the ground, scooting around, picked up at the 30-yard line, and good Dragon kick coverage, and the return only out to the 34, maybe the 35-yard line.
That's
Garden
the
City.
linebacker, Terrell, that was forced to pick that one up.
Yep. And now Garden City has to be just a little bit concerned. They have an offense that can score a lot of points, but they also are cognizant of the fact that the Blue Dragons have made some halftime adjustments and are moving the football themselves.
Well, with as different as this team is from a year ago, you wonder how much they can come back from.
Wilson starts in the gun, steps forward, unloads upfield. Oh, wide open. Touchdown. I mean, that is as wide open as a player can be. My goodness, the Dragons napping big time, man. That pass play of 65 yards. The Dragons didn't have a defender anywhere near that receiver.
Yeah, there was some blown coverage there. And the cannon about puts me into the next century every time it goes off.
That was Aaron Willis that took that over the middle.
Wide open.
Well, and that's just the threat that Wilson gives you. He fakes that run like he's going to come out of the pocket and then takes that step back and unloads.
It may be one of those games where there is to be no relaxing until it's over. Garden City back within 7 as the extra point is up and the extra point is good. 28-21, each team has scored twice in the first half of the third quarter. Dragons will get the football again. Can they keep up this torrid pace? We'll start to figure it out in half a minute.
Are you caring for an elder parent or neighbor with physical limitations? It's difficult to get them in and out of a passenger vehicle, get them inside the building, and then go park your car. Reno County area transportation vehicles are designed to make this sort of travel easier on both of you. Let RCAT do the driving so you can concentrate on caregiving. Call 694-2913 for information.
Well, the Dragons, Glenn, were fired up, but
Yeah.
I suspect that was kind of a sobering
Well, I think
play.
Coach really got on Jerry Jacobs after he came out the field. Evidently, I think Darren's right. He bit on that run and just enough, and that young man was wide open. So this is going to be one of those kind of games, totally different from last year, which was 16-14 and kind of crazy defensive type of plays and special teams plays. This one's wide open.
Garden City kickoff boomed. And this one will go into the end zone, and the Dragons will wisely not bring it out. Hutchinson will start at the 25, still leading with half the third quarter to go, but only by 7, 28-21.
I think we found the recipe for success is for the Blue Dragons to move the ball down the field with the pass. So you might see them do like they did last drive and come out throwing on first down rather than the typical run on first, run on second, and figure out where we need to go if it's third and long.
Well, the thing that the throw to Watson does, guys, is it kind of opens up that running game back again. Otis Williams is going to be out there in that tailback spot, so let's see what happens. My sideline report's brought to you by Taya Cahoon Kinesiology, Oliver's Beef and Brew, as well as Jackson Meat.
Dragons go to work from their 25-yard line with Cam Jones going under center. Hutchinson quarterback, hands off, and the Dragons run it up the middle and a decent gain out to the 29-yard line by Williams. So the Dragons will have a 2nd down and 6. Now this is a Garden City team that has had to come from behind in at least one of its victories. They won't panic. Blue Dragons would love to put another score up, though, right here in the third quarter. And the Dragons give off. Wilson jitterbugs on the side, runs out of space. No gain.
As much as he put the fake on Terrell was good to just get there, kind of square up his hips and let Williams make as many moves as he wanted, because he knew as long as he didn't bite on one of them, that Williams was going to come right at him chest to chest so he could make the tackle.
Yeah, Waller back in that lineup now. Let's see if he can pop it around the left side or what they go for on third down here.
3rd down, 5 at the Hutchinson 30. Dragons have 2 wideouts to the far side of the field. Shift a man, now bringing back to his original position on the side. Jones throws over the middle, delivers it high. Intended for his tight end, but thrown way too high for the tight end to have any chance at pulling that down. So the Hutchinson Blue Dragons will have to punt the football, presumably, here. That pass was intended for Blue Dragon.
Aaron Shannon.
Was it Aaron Shannon? It was Shannon. Dragons will punt it away, again punting against the wind. Gagan needs a good snap, gets one, gets it off. Effective, low, spinning punt. Takes a Hutchinson bounce. And the Dragons will down it as it rolls across the 40 to the 37 of Garden City.
You saw that ball get up there, and it got up high enough to where it just died immediately in that wind and came right down.
Update from Nashville, 7-7 tie going into fourth quarter, K-State and Vanderbilt.
K-State was a slight favorite in that one. Game's pretty much today going the way the pundits thought they would. Now Garden City with a chance to equalize things here if they can put points on the board on this drive. And a quarterback starts by firing it over the middle and completing it for a first down to the 49-yard line. This Wilson is a heck of a quarterback. Terry Wilson already ready to go again. Stands about 4 yards deep, takes the snap, drops back, pressure comes, he eludes it, rolling to the side, still being chased. Now he'll run with it in the open field, dangerous, brings it across midfield into Hutchinson territory at the 48-yard line. He'll wear you out chasing him in the backfield.
Man, he really will. Andy Jean-Baptiste had a shot at him to begin with, had to get back up off the ground, had a second shot at him and still didn't get him.
Wilson back to throw again being chased, rolling to his right, now throws it away.
As tiresome as we just said it was to try to keep Wilson in your sights, there was Andy Jean-Baptiste, even though he took so much energy out of him the last play, right there in Wilson's face, forcing him to roll out and throw it away.
Wilson has to be breathing hard a little bit with all the exertion of the last couple of plays. It is third down, about 7. Wilson stays in the pocket this time. Throws to the side, delivers it. Incomplete. Pass was intended for Yatil Gant on the sideline, and it is fourth down. Fourth down and 7.
All these underneath routes have been pretty well covered by the Blue Dragon defense. It's been those long routes down the field that they've allowed the blown coverages.
And now, almost certainly, Garden City will punt. And the Blue Dragons, I think, about the best they can hope for is that this thing will go into the end zone. Wind at the back of the Garden City punter, who has shown us a good leg. Kicks it high, angled off to the side, and it's going to ricochet into the end zone. Had an angle for the coffin corner on the left side, missed by a couple of yards. Blue Dragons will get it out at the 20. Still a 28-21 contest. Hutchinson with the lead. Dragons have never trailed in this game. Led 7-0, it was 7-7. Led 14-7 at halftime, it became 14-14. Then Hutchinson moved on top by 2 scores, 28-14, only to see Garden City come back with a big pass play for a touchdown to make it 28-21.
Dragon offense needs to stay out here for a few downs to let that defense rest a little bit. A lot of running after Wilson, that last set by the Broncbusters.
Cam Jones will start under center. Wants to throw. Loads it up, throws it downfield, and delivers it out of bounds. Pretty good coverage. Pass was intended for Jawan Johnson, but defensive back was running shoulder to shoulder with him.
I like a little bit of the deception there. The Blue Dragons last drive, under center, handed it off every time, went to the shotgun, threw it. This time, under center, first down, you might be thinking defensively it's just a simple handoff, and the Blue Dragons go after the Broncbusters deep down the field.
Yeah, Garden City has obviously loosened up the defense against the run somewhat, although it's still been pretty good. 2nd and 10 from the 20 for the Blue Dragons. This time from the gun, Wilson. Tries to set up the screen pass, completes it. A little bit of jitterbugging around, and a pretty good job by the Blue Dragons of getting it out to the 25-yard line. It was Waller taking the screen pass, and it makes it a manageable 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, Garden City had blown up that screen pass, but a nice job by Waller, spinning to his left and diving forward all the way, and gets it to about the 24-yard line, so 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, how Austin Lawless didn't get his hands on that, I'll never know, but Jones able to dump it right over the top of his outstretched arms into the hands of Waller.
Cam Jones takes the snap, stays in the pocket, and overthrows his receiver on the sideline. Dragons will have to punt it. Dragons didn't take much time off the clock. They're working against the breeze here in the 3rd quarter. And now we'll see what the Dragons can get accomplished on the punt. Donovan Gagan has been an effective punter for Hutchinson throughout the evening. Kick it low, Donovan.
Yeah, we have movement on the right side. Harvey over on that right side, one of the gunners, and he flinched.
We'll see. It might have been movement by the Dragons, but I think it was in reaction to the defensive player. Nope, they're going to step it off against the Dragons.
You know, that's one of those where if you feel like a defensive player has come across, then you might be able to get it to go against the other team, but he just saw the defender move a little bit, and as a person on the line, you cannot flinch in that situation.
Gagan stands now at his 4-yard line, gets a good snap, gets off the kick. It is high. Now the wind grabs it and is taken on a fair catch at the Garden City 42-yard line. Trey Richards, again the former Salt Hawk, handling the punt.
Gagan came into this one with only 2 punts, having been fair caught, and this one 2 more, so he's doubled up on his fair catch statistic.
4:14 to play in the 3rd quarter, 28-21, Hutchinson with the advantage. Garden City with the football, and the ever-dangerous Terry Wilson ready to go to work again from the shotgun. Drops back, has all kinds of time. Unloads over the middle, delivers it low. Pretty well defended by the Dragons. The pass was intended for Daniel Davis. He couldn't pull it in at the 33.
Kind of textbook wraparound there by Adrian Cross to get the hand around, knock it around, away before contact was made with Davis. They had holding against the offense, so that'll back that back 10 yards.
And the Dragons will be happy to take this. Although, with a thrower and runner like Terry Wilson, 1st and 20 is a very manageable thing.
True, 28-21. Blue Dragons on top, third quarter action.
Wilson with time. Now darts to his right, looks downfield, runs out of time, eludes a tackle, and then down he goes at the 30. It'll be a loss on the play. First quarterback sack that I can remember of the game. He'll lose about a yard on the play.
That's where that quarterback spy helps you. Drew Harvey sees that he's got his man in Wilson. If he comes out of that pocket, he has to go get him. And if it were not for Harvey, Wilson would still be running.
So it is 2nd down and 21 at the Garden City 30-yard line. Wilson takes the snap, doesn't get much pressure, now starts to run out of time, unloads, and I wait for a flag. There is none. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, it didn't look good between Quinn Head and Remy Simmons, but the officials decided that they just got their legs kind of tied together.
So it'll be a 3rd down and 21. And the Dragons will have an extra defensive back out there on this play. Quarterback draw. Boom! Down he goes. Back inside the 25.
Butler's having a game.
Yes, he is. And the Blue Dragon defense has been very, very good. Garden City will have to punt the football away. Hutchinson continues to lead 28-21.
Young man out of New Orleans, Louisiana, and he's making a statement there. He's been back there a couple times. That time Wilson did not have a chance.
Waller awaits at his own 35-yard line. The punt from Dahl. James standing near his 10. Gets the snap, gets it off. Beautiful punt. It's going to go out of bounds, though. Again, they'll line it up, and we'll see where they spot it.
All right. See the angle. It's going to be around the 43.
Yep. Garden City doing a good job in some ways on the punts because they're not allowing any returns. But
and
the
I
Blue
think
Dragon's pretty good spot.
Yeah, I think they realize what a good returner Deshaun Waller is, and they've not put it in his hands, at least on the punt return.
So the Blue Dragons at the 43-yard line, their own side of the midfield stripe. 2:42 remains in the third quarter. Jones is in the gun. Gives off a running play and a hole up the middle. Closed in a hurry, but not before the Dragons net about 4 yards. That was B.J. Emmons on the carry.
Flag late. Came from the defensive backfield, so not sure what's taking place.
Penalties in the first half, almost all of them went against Hutchinson. Much more evenly divided in the second so far.
It's going to be, I think, against the Broncbusters, I believe, although they're looking like they're going to march it off against the Blue Dragons. They've yet to make the call, and they're still discussing it, guys. It's pretty big because if it's
it really is.
It's a march out in midfield, it could take it into Broncbuster territory. It's against the defense, so unnecessary roughness. So that's a big one because it puts the ball into Garden City territory with the Dragons leading by one score at 28-21 with 2:20 to go in the third. This is great field position.
Yeah, they'll put it down, Glenn, at the 38. Hutchinson trying to grow a 7-point margin. Jones hands off. Dragons try to run it around the edge on the short side of the field. Don't get very much. Otis Williams got a couple of yards maybe before stepping out of bounds. Let's mark it at the 36, 2nd and 8.
Williams and Waller with speed to the outside. Emmons more of a pounder inside. And then you got Lee also, which we have not seen Lee carry the pigskin tonight.
Dragons split a couple of wideouts to the left. Ball on the right hash. Jones under center, back to throw. Stays in the pocket, starts to run out of time. Got to get rid of it and does. Throws it away. That is a sack that you could not take, and Jones wisely just threw it out of bounds. He was outside the pocket. No question about grounding. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
It was unfortunate he got himself rolled out of the pocket to the right because Whitmire, again, on that far left sideline, just sat down around the 20 and had no one within 20 yards of him.
3rd down, 8. Jones will be in the shotgun. Back to throw. Here comes pressure. Rolls to his right. Throws it upfield. It is incomplete. Pass intended for the tight end. This time not able to pull it in for the Blue Dragons, Johnny Lumpkin. And an interesting call right here for Hutchinson. 4th down and 8 at the 37-yard line. I think you punt it.
Yeah, I give Gagan an opportunity to pin them deep, but if you're Gagan, really work hard for that coffin corner. Don't try to bounce it down inside the 5 and hope it sticks. Kick it toward that front pylon and get it into the coffin corner situation.
Dragons playing field position with a 28-21 edge. High snap. Gagan pulls it down, kicks it high in the middle of the field, and it is going to bound down beautifully inside the 10-yard line. It was effective. Downed at the 8.
Darren described that earlier. He is dropping that point down and gets the end over end then after it hits, and that was absolutely perfect.
So it will be a 92-yard field ahead of Garden City. Broncbusters trail Hutchinson 28-21. 83 ticks left with the wind at their back. 4th quarter coming up. We'll see the Dragons have that win. Wilson has gone the distance at quarterback. Takes the snap, wants to throw it, being chased, breaks out of containment and is dragged down near the 13-yard line. Got about 5 on the scramble. Dragons have done a lot of chasing of Wilson, not a whole lot of catching.
Well, and normally when you see Wilson finally tackled, there's 3 or 4 Dragons around him, so it's not easy to bring this guy down.
Wilson throwing on almost every down. Loads it up, throws it middle of the field, has an open receiver, has a 1st down out at the 38-yard line. It was right on target for his favorite receiver, Daniel Davis. Davis gives him a 1st down at the 38. 44 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Davis able to just run down the seam untouched and catch that one in stride.
Wilson throws it this time to his big tight end. That's a completion for a short gain out in the right flat. And Kirby is pushed out of bounds after getting about 5. Half a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. Wind not a huge factor, but it is at the back of the Broncbusters, who trail by 7. And here's a running play. Dragons having a little trouble containing this, and close to a 1st down on the carry is Charles West. And they say he got enough for the 1st down. They'll move the chains. That'll stop the clock momentarily. 8 seconds left in the quarter. And once they get the chain set, the official will mark it ready to play.
And he wants to reset the game clock to 8.
Actually, they're going to take it back to 14.
Yeah, they're going to put more than that on.
Right now, there's 8 seconds on that game clock.
Yeah,
this is bad for the Broncbusters.
Now they're going to say 13.
Because they have the momentum here, and now because your clock operator is off, it slows down the pace of your offense.
They actually move it back to 13. Wilson wants to throw, delivers it It is deflected a couple of times. Falls incomplete. A couple of kids had a shot at it in the right flat. It's an incomplete pass. Clock stops with 5 ticks left in the third quarter.
Jerry Jacobs got a hand on it, but then just about was a great catch by Garden City's tight end, Kilby.
Well, and he had to watch it in off of a deflection, too, because I've been really impressed by Guy Victoria, not only from a tackling standpoint, but his coverage is really good, and he got the first deflection on that pass.
Probably the last play of the third quarter. Wilson passing on every down, wants to throw it here, throws it long, and it is broken up at the last minute. Boy, Blue Dragon defender running side by side. That was number 9 for Garden City, number 5 for the Dragons.
Actually,
that means
Adrian Cross. Witherspoon was back there at number 8, broke it away. Great coverage.
You're right, it was Witherspoon.
I was a little worried because it looked like Witherspoon was going to come up on the pass, but once he realized it was a deep pattern, he went stride for stride and knocked it away.
That's the last play of the third quarter. 3 in the books from Western Kansas. The Dragons lead at 28-21. We return in 30 seconds.
For quality of product and in service, choose your Trane air conditioning system from E&M Plumbing. E&M can supply you with high-efficiency Trane systems with the same high-quality insulation you've come to expect from their long-time service experience. They'll answer any questions you have about the new high-efficiency Trane units with no obligation. Thinking air conditioning? Think E&M Plumbing Incorporated, 701 West 2nd, 662-1281. After all, it's hard to stop a Trane.
All right, we have 15 minutes of football at least remaining in this one. It's a good one. Dragons by 7. Garden City with a 3rd down and 10. Just shy of midfield. Wilson unloads, throws it out to his tight end who will make a catch, but he is short of the first down. Once again, Kilby. Boy, has he been a weapon. 255, 6'8", good hands. 4th down and 3. Garden will go for it. They've gone for it all game long. Can the Dragons make one more play? And the ball unloaded to the middle. Intercepted by the Dragons. Interception to the 40-yard line, down to the 32-yard line. With the pick go the Blue Dragons, and it does not pay off. Was that Guy Victoria? It was.
I just told
Guy
you
Victoria. Guy Victoria on the catch.
A few seconds ago how impressed I have been not only with his tackling but his ability to drop back and defend the pass. Got his hand on one a little bit ago and gets the payoff with the pick there.
There is a flag on the play.
Oh, man, there's a flag back at.
And an injured Garden City
Sure
Broncbuster.
is. What a pick by Guy Victoria. I don't think you're going to be able to take that away, but it could be the other way. Let's see what the call is going to be.
Possible that he had a block low coming back on the return. So where that flag is, they might back it up. So not as good field position as you would like.
It's going to be against the Blue Dragons. It's from the spot of the infraction, so that will back it up. So let's see where they're going to put it.
Well, that'll bring it back across the midfield stripe. Looks like the flag was dropped right at the 45, so it'll take it back to the Hutchinson 40. But the Dragons will have the football and the lead with 14.5 to go.
I was coming from behind the bench out to this side when I saw the pick, and then got caught up in the celebration a little bit. And that was Batiste that was flagged for the illegal hit.
So the Blue Dragons will start from their 40. Cam Jones, this time in the gun. Fake the end around. Give it for the run up the middle, and Garden City is not fooled. It'll be a gain of absolutely nothing on the play, but the clock will continue to move.
1 touchdown lead, 28-21. We're in the 4th, and a little bit of time management has to come in here, guys. You got to be able to keep control of the football, run some clock, but still move it.
Yeah, you would like a score of any kind right here. Preferably at the end of about an 8-minute drive would be perfect. Dragons give it to Emmons in the backfield. He breaks a tackle, breaks another one, and gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that is about all.
You can't take anything away from this kid. Emmons, 4 touchdowns in this game already. One thing that I'd like to see him do a little bit better is keep that football close to his heart. Too often that ball gets out wide from his body like a big old bread basket, and he's just so susceptible in those moments for a fumble.
He usually covers up pretty quick, but that one, when he's trying to get it across the goal line, was exactly what you described.
3rd down and 10 at the 40. Waller is the running back. Jones wants to throw, rolling to his left. And now he'll run with it. And he'll run with it effectively. He'll pick up a first down the sideline. And there is a scramble. That's something you said you'd like to see the Hutchinson quarterback do. Cam Jones tucked it under, rolled to his left, kept looking downfield, and finally said, I can run for a first down, and does exactly that to the 43-yard line of Garden City.
I think his internal clock's getting a little bit better where he knows, okay, at some point I have to pull it down and go. And you'll see that more when he's coming out to his left. If he rolls to his right, oftentimes he'll still look to throw it downfield.
2 wideouts to the right, effective in the middle of the field. He'll get 3 yards perhaps.
Yeah, right at the 40, sit down right there.
More importantly, he'll keep moving. Even a field goal in this situation for the Dragons, and they're nowhere close to field goal range yet, would be huge. 28-21 Hutchinson. Dragons trying to remain unbeaten in the conference.